Hello. Don't mind me while I just get myself set up here. Hi, I am Julie Muir and I'm a celebrant that's based in Newcastle and the Hunter. And I'm here today to talk to you about the Celebrant Hangover. First of all, I ain't talking about the champagne that you sipped post ceremony, or in my case, the whiskey that I have when I get home. No, what I'm talking about is, of course, the emotional hangover. That is a well known phenomenon in the celebrant industry. So let me set the scene. You have a wedding and you really want it to go well, and you've put a lot of work into it. You might even have been rehearsing intensively. It's a bit of a mental challenge, but you're motivated and you're dedicated, and you're probably also a bit nervous and excited. And basically, you just really want to do a good job for your couple. Add to that, if you are a new celebrant, then you've patiently waited to finish your course, get approved by the AG's department, and of course, market your business. Finally, the bookings are rolling in, but you probably waited a year or more for this particular wedding to arrive. And it's fair to say there's been a very long lead up to this day and much anticipation. On the wedding day, your body is going to be flooded with dopamine, cortisol, and serotonin. I can guarantee it. Your heart rate is going to increase. And to be honest, you might even be battling the urge to vomit or leg it. But you stay, of course. You perform the ceremony. The ceremony is over now. It's a wrap. It went really well. All your hard work paid off. You are on an absolute chemical high. You are on top of the world. You genuinely believe that you have the best job in the world, and nothing could top this feeling because you're on cloud nine. And then it hits you, the wedding hangover. And like I said, I don't mean from alcohol. So I just wanted to say that it is totally normal to experience post-performance depression, or post-show blues, as you note. For some people, after the initial high, they feel just a little bit flat. But for other people, it is a full-blown come down. I'm not kidding you when I say that the possible symptoms that you could experience include, oh, my notes have gone. That's where I'm gonna ad-lib it. The possible experience that you could include are fatigue. So that's a guarantee. You're definitely going to feel wrecked after the ceremony. You could also feel sadness. You might even cry unexpectedly. Anxiety is pretty normal for a lot of people, and you might be feeling a lack of motivation as well, just completely spent. And on top of all that, it can kind of be a bit of a confusing time, maybe even demoralizing or even lonely. But I'm here to reassure you that now that you are aware of this phenomenon, you can accept that it's normal, and you can even expect it. And now, of course, you can plan for the inevitable drop in mood. So, of course, I have some strategies to help you. So here we go. Number one, you can fight these feelings and the fatigue by looking after yourself, of course. So, nerves and excitement in the run up to the ceremony, they might interfere with, you eating well, resting well. You might not sleep the night before a ceremony, or, you might be so preoccupied that you decide not to exercise. But the first thing you can do when you're combating post-performance depression is to help your body fight it by nourishing it with all the good stuff, of course. I know it's obvious, but you should eat well, rest well, and also make time to move your body before and after the ceremony if you can. Just be careful, though. Doing any of these things to excess, is a type of self-medication, and that's going to cause other issues. So I know from experience, it is so easy to get into bad habits. I personally went through a phase of getting a frozen Coke from the servo, or stopping at Macca's on my way home from every wedding. So now I try to be organized and pack a bottle of water and a protein bar instead. The second thing you should consider is meditation. So If you arrive super early to the ceremony and you're set up and you're ready to go, you consider doing a meditation before the ceremony. I know this won't be for everyone, but I'm just throwing it out there because it is very effective in taking the nerves down a notch, calming the body's nervous system and decreasing your heart rate, amongst a whole host of other benefits. So me personally, I just use a guided meditation app on my phone. And I've never tried it, but for the same reasons that you could do it before the ceremony, you might want to consider doing a meditation when you get home after the ceremony as well. Number 3, positive self-talk and reframing. Beware of how you talk to yourself after a ceremony. Try to avoid negative self-talk. We can make ourselves feel so much worse by believing what we tell ourselves. So if you let them, your negative thoughts are going to have the power to ramp up, create negative emotions, and that's really giving them greater power and influence, which you really don't want. There's so many ways you can beat yourself up after a ceremony unnecessarily. You're thinking, turning things over. Why did I do that? Or why didn't I remember that the couple told me that? Or why did I make that mistake? Why didn't the guests laugh at all my jokes? What's wrong with me? Why am I so emotional? All of these things, take it from me, someone who's done nearly 250 weddings. I pride myself on being prepared. I work extremely hard and have really high attention to detail. But even still, even for the best celebrants, we all make mistakes. And honestly, it's never as bad as you think. So my advice is to document the lessons you've learned from every wedding. Acknowledge what you did well. It's really important to focus on the positives and not just on the negatives. And you need to reframe it and just consider what things you can improve on. There's always a learning from every ceremony. And mostly you just need to consider what you need to change in your process to prevent it from happening again. No, actually, the most important thing is you need to forgive yourself and move on. Another great thing to do is to read your positive reviews. So let those kind words sink in and believe them. And it's about creating a different story for your brain, a different narrative to counterbalance all that negative thinking. This should reduce the fuel for the negative emotions that make post-performance depression last longer. Strategy number 4, share. You are not alone with how you're feeling. All celebrants get these feelings. So, it's really important to talk to other celebrants. I would recommend, on the day of the wedding if possible. So specifically on a Saturday or maybe on the Sunday or the Monday. Me personally, I always call another celebrant on my drive home from the wedding. It's fine, of course, to offload on your partner if you have one, a sympathetic partner, but it's not the same as speaking to someone who understands exactly what you've been through. So, if you ring up another celebrant, you can talk about how difficult the bloody coordinator was, how your PA failed. Hopefully that never happens to you. How you might have gotten the witness's name wrong, whatever it is, that person is going to reassure you and make you feel a lot better. So, do reach out for support. And or maybe occasionally you could have a roadie come along in the car with you so that you can unload in the car before you even get home. Strategy number 5, I really want you to try and relax after the ceremony. Now, you know how you relax. You might want to play some music, read a book, have a bath, burn some essential oils, watch Netflix. I'm sure you're probably going to want to have a drink or 2 or 10, but I'm going to say try not to get sloshed. Who am I kidding? You are adults and you're going to do whatever you want. But if you do end up feeling worse for it, maybe think about your behavior and what's best for you in the long run. Now, look, the next point is going to depend on if you're an extrovert or an introvert, but it's worth mentioning that you may not want to make any concrete plans for meeting others, for example, on a Saturday night after you've done your wedding, just in case you are too exhausted. in theory, it's so great as celebrants that we're often finished our working day by, for example, 5 p.m., unlike the poor photographers who have to work often until midnight. But just because you can go out doesn't mean that you're going to feel like it. So certainly if you are an introverted celebrant, you're going to be emotionally spent. So you're probably just going to want to curl up on the couch. So me personally, I generally try and keep my plans loose so that I can go out if I feel like it, if I feel up for it. But equally, if I don't feel up for it, or, then I can cancel my plans or pull out of my plans if I'm emotionally or physically exhausted. And my last strategy is a good old distraction. So if your emotions are overwhelming you, give yourself something else to think about, maybe plan something to look forward to. My advice is to plan an adventure for after your wedding day. So every Sunday, for example, try and plan something that you're really looking forward to take your mind off it. So to summarize, it is totally normal to get a celebrant hangover, even if everything went well. It's just your body rebalancing after the dopamine, the cortisol, and the serotonin. So be kind to yourself, think about your self-care, and make sure that you get a celebrant buddy to debrief with. Sending love, guys. Good luck.